And welcome into this Thursday edition of the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC. Hope you guys are doing well. Another day, another dollar, another conversation about some football. Wouldn't want it any other way. So that's what we're going to do right here on the Miller's Edge. You guys know the drill. We are counting away, and we've got Crystal in here first, right in the chat. 9 days away, guys and girls. 9 days away until Alabama takes the field at Saban Field at Bryant-Denny Stadium. Is it necessary to say all that, guys? Let me ask you, Reed, Chase. I am curious because I've still just been saying Bryant-Denny Stadium. I know they added Saban Field to it. Is it necessary to do that, or do we just stick with Bryant-Denny? I mean, I don't think there's a right answer, but do you guys hear people actually saying Saban Field at Bryant-Denny Stadium, or is that only for like the media to do to kind of dress it up and sound more professional?
I don't know. Believe it or not, I do hear the whole Saban Field at Bryant-Denny Stadium a good bit now that the official change has been made. But of course, prior to that, that's Bryant-Denny Stadium is all I've ever heard.
Yeah. What about Chase? Chase still in there? Chase, do you hear people say that? I mean, I feel like on the broadcast they definitely say that, right? Like when they're calling the games, you hear Saban Field at Bryant-Denny Stadium. But like, do people say that? I guess I can ask the chat or anybody listening. Do people say, "Hey, I'm heading over to Saban Field at Bryant-Denny Stadium"? I don't think so. No.
Nah, I don't really hear it much. Maybe on the broadcast or like in media when they announce the stadium, but people
Yeah.
just say like, "I'm just going to see Alabama play." They say like the name is just too long. I'm just gonna go see them in
BDS.
person.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they say
BDS.
BDS, Bryant-Denny Stadium. Well, we'll just stick with that. Hey, I agree with Dr. Crystal. Only really hear it on TV. I guess as a broadcaster myself, maybe I should get used to kind of like saying that a little bit. I don't know. Anyway, we are 9 days away. That's the most important. And of course, money even says just Bryant-Denny, right? So you got BDS, Bryant-Denny Stadium, same old thing. Saban Field at Bryant-Denny Stadium. You guys know the drill. We'll be there in 9 days, right? That's all that matters. Alabama will be taking the field in 9 days. So we got to keep talking about these latest updates that are coming out of. We say fall camp. I probably should throw this out there. Fall camp technically is done at this point. I feel like they're in more of a regular schedule now. I mean, school started back. Now, granted, they practice in the morning regardless, but if I'm not mistaken, I'm almost positive fall camp is like done. Which for them, I know I've said this before, but I still am trying to wrap my head around this, man. Like these guys didn't have to stay in the dorms, man. So I mean, like they had like the schedule of fall camp in terms of all the meetings and the practices and everything, but they didn't have to like go to the dorms and hang out there like we had to, right? Which, just gonna be honest with you, man, it was like it sucked, but it was kind of fun at the same time because we were playing cards, hanging out. I mean, sometimes you'd have the game system set up, playing some Madden. We didn't have NCAA. We couldn't play with our own people on NCAA. Unfortunately, man, these guys have it so made, man, so made. So made, man. I'm jealous. I'm jealous. I'm kidding. No, it is good for them though. But speaking of college guys, the whole deal with the NFL guys trying to come back and be college guys again. Some more updates with that. I'm going to save that for hour number 2 when we get our official lawyer on the show because he can break that down for us even better and explain kind of where things stand. It seems like this is a very serious deal though, guys, because there's more and more news coming out with not just NCAA but SEC and some of these conferences stepping up and they're pushing those rules, right, and those stipulations and those punishments, right, if you do in fact try to break the rules. And at first it was just a statement. We read that yesterday, Reed, here on the show. Now it seems like they're pushing even further. And I even saw that the NFL/NFLPA, I believe, are also kind of getting in on this, and they're contributing. It seems like whoever is down at the college level has been making their rounds via phone calls and been calling everybody up saying, hey, I need you to set this up. I need you to do this. We don't want NFL players playing college football. It's crazy what happens when people kind of get together and come together and try to put a stop to things, right? That's what happens when you have everybody involved on the same page. If only we could try to do that with some of these other things. I heard Coach Saban even talking about the legislation that we've been talking about, right? The Save College Sports Act, finally got that name down pat. All it takes is a couple people not really in sync with everybody, and we're dragging the whole process out. And I thought Coach Saban said it best. I don't know if you guys saw this. I can't even remember where the quote came from. I think I saw one of our reporters quoting him from an interview he did not long ago. It was very recent, but basically saying it's one of those deals where this act it's not perfect. He acknowledged it's not perfect, right? Nothing's ever really going to be perfect. But we're going to sit here and deny something that has 80% of the solutions to these problems. There's still 20% that's not going to be perfect, that still needs to be addressed. But are we really going to fight over that remaining 20% and just give up this whole 80% that really could help fix things? Because again, right around the time he said that was when the news started coming out with these NFL guys coming back to college. And it's like, man, you got to put some type of guardrails up. Stop fighting about little things and going back and forth bickering. Just get something set up, because if not, you got to see what keeps happening. It's getting crazier and crazier. So again, we'll have that conversation a little bit later on the show when we have Adam Lamprell of Lamprell Law here on the show, and he can break it down for us, especially from the legal side of things. But we also got to talk a little bit about Alabama GM Courtney Morgan, who in fact joined Hey Coach. He was on set with Chris Stewart and the gang over there at Baumhauer's, and he had a number of things that he was talking about up there. I think one quote that really, I guess, drew the attention of many listeners was him talking about Alabama's NIL situation. A lot of conversations regarding that, right, Reed, Chase? I mean, they talk about, hey, Alabama, they don't have money. They do have money. They don't want to spend the money. They're being cheap. They can't get players. Well, he just said straight up what the case is. He set the narrative. And so I want to talk a little bit about that. I believe we can actually just pull it up and play it from YouTube. Just play that snippet if they still keep the I guess, save the video. I'm pretty sure they do. I don't know why they wouldn't. If not, we got the quote. I want to talk a little bit about that. Then, of course, the latest updates coming out of fall camp, or I guess, what do we call this at this point? Because it's not really fall camp. Is it preseason? I don't even know. Is there a term you call this practice period? I feel like I should know out of all people, but I'm kind of like, wait. Once fall camp ends, it's just like, what do we call that? I forgot. Game prep.
Yeah, I guess it's like, game prep, maybe a little bit of a preseason to the actual season. I don't know. That's kind of, it's the weird in between where fall camp has ended, but the season hasn't started.
And it's in between the first week, right? So here's the thing. Next week, we call that game week, right? That's prep week. Like starting, well, technically, I think they start Monday. They do their stuff differently, man. It's interesting. They practice on Sunday, then had Mondays off. So anyway, our start of the week would have been Monday. Theirs is probably Sunday. So we'll say Sunday for them is game week. They're in an official, like, in-season mode, right? They go over their typical Sunday practice. They'll probably have Monday off, right? Because they want to get in the routine that they'll have throughout the season. Tuesday, Wednesday, is Thursday for them the walkthrough day? I can't. Anyway, they'll be in game mode. Like, that's normal. But right now we're in that, like, kind of like limbo area where we're coming out of fall camp, but we're not quite in that. What we used to do is we actually had it where we would like have 2 back-to-back game weeks. So like the week before the true game week, we would kind of mimic that. We would do a lot of install, but it still would have some of the training camp elements to it. But we would start trying to work into that schedule. And then we would officially start the game week schedule where we went Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday was that fast practice, Friday walkthrough. Boom, Saturday, we're taking center stage. So anyway, I don't know why I'm spending so much time on this. Just kind of curious there. Anyway, that is if you guys know the term for that, we can figure that out.
I was going to say, people in the chat were saying it's called we're calling it a bye week.
Bye week. I mean, yeah, you're right. Everybody in the chat saying bye week. It kind of feels like, well, think about it. It is week 0, and we're not playing. So I guess that kind of is considered a bye week, maybe. I don't know. I guess you can call it a bye week. And matter of fact, that's kind of how bye weeks look. We would revert back to some of our training camp style practices, but we still would sprinkle in install because, again, we got an opponent to play next week. But we always went back to our fundamentals. So, like, we would have like a hard hat Tuesday, bunch of team stuff, right? Good on good periods, kind of laying the foundation again during our bye week. And then the next week we get back into our game prep. So, yeah, I guess that is a good point, kind of like a bye week. Thank you, chat. You guys are on this morning. We appreciate that. That being said, we'll hit a timeout. When we come back, we will be talking some of these latest updates. Some of these starting battles, right? They're starting to kind of come to a close as training camp pretty much wraps up. We heard Luke Metz was named the starting linebacker next to Caleb Woodson, right? Reuben Foster, I guess he spoke that into existence, right? I see people sharing the clip. They didn't even tag us in it. Now, luckily, you can see the name of the show right there on the clip. But I'm like, y'all are screen recording. At least show us some love, man. Just tag say, hey, from the Miller's Edge. Where's y'all's media etiquette, man? Golly. Anyway, Reuben, hey, he spoke it into existence. We had him on the show. He was up there during the spring. He said, hey, Luke Metz, that white boy's going to be a problem. Now, those were his words, not mine. Those were his words. And sure enough, Luke Metz has been a problem all throughout training camp, earning the starting job next to Caleb Woodson. Now, Kane Womack did mention that there will be a rotation, right? And we're still going to see QB Reese, right? We're still going to see a couple other guys that will be. Oh no, not you, Dwight. I'm not talking about you, Dwight. There's another clip, Dwight. No, I appreciate that. No, there will be rotation at that position, so we will be keeping eyes on that. But congrats to Luke Metz earning that job next to Caleb Woodson. We'll keep an eye out on some of these other jobs that are somewhat still available. It sounds really like the right tackle spot is secured by Javen James for the most part, at least as of now. Really, just left guard. Sounds like Mal Waldrop is probably going to get the nod, but Will Sanders is right there on his heels. Curious to see how that one rounds out, but really, that's one of the few remaining battles that seems to be left as of now. At least when I'm just thinking off the top of my head. So, what Gary hand you guys, man? I want one. I'm kind of curious, man. Is that he give you a coupon code? What is that?
No. So this is like the 2026 like you're good. The football guide 2026 76 annual edition. I remember I was just telling Chase I have one that sits on my like counter in my like living room kind of area. It's kind of complicated. Either way, and I just put it in my cabinet because it was dated to last year, right? And that literally happened within the last week. And so now I have one to replenish that in case I usually sit up on my stool and kind of just.
It's got like all the like player names and stuff, right? Is it just Alabama? Is it SEC? Is it all of college football? I've seen those before. I just can't remember what it all.
Yeah, it's kind of all football in general because they've got major, like just pretty much all FBS college schedules. It's got practically everything you could think of. Like it has SEC like category.
Does it have rosters in there too, or no?
Trivia. I don't think it has rosters.
No, I don't think
it also has high school football and Alabama schedules.
Hey, I might need that. Listen, I was talking to my agent. I was telling you guys the other day, man. I might be helping out on that front a little bit, kind of getting my feet wet in the agency world, man. You know, nowadays high school and college players are all involved. I know he had mentioned that. He was like, "How much you know about the high school football?" I'm like, "Well, I don't keep up with it a whole bunch, but best believe, man. I mean, if that's kind of the direction we're going, I don't know. So if we got some listeners that might have a son that might be, I don't know, a decent football recruit, you might need somebody representing you a little bit. Maybe you need to give us a call on the Miller's Edge. Maybe I don't know. Maybe your boy can help you kind of get you some more NIL dollars a little bit. I don't know. I'm serious, but I'm being funny. We got to hit a timeout. I'm rambling. We come back. We dive into some of these updates at 11:30. We do have Brandon Clear. We'll get the latest from him. And let me add Brandon Clear of Cover Crimson. All right, that's a new thing. I got to get used to this. Brandon Clear of Cover Crimson, Clint Lamb of Bama Online. I got to make sure I got our stuff right for all our guests. And by the way, I did reach out to Chris Lowe, man. We want to get him on the show because I know he's had all these interviews and he can break down a whole lot for us. He is busy right now, but as soon as we get him on here, we definitely will talk all things Alabama and really take a look around the SEC because yesterday he spent time at Mississippi State when I was talking to him. So he can kind of give us the yeah, there you go, Chase. That one's for you, by the way. He can kind of give us a lowdown on some of these places he's been taking stops at, and we'll do that when we get to it. But today we got Brandon Clear at 11:30. We got Adam Lamparella at the top of the hour. All that coming up right here on the Miller's Edge. Tide 100.9, 1230, WTBC. All right, sorry, chat. I was rambling, man. You know, it's the first segment, man. We're just chilling a little bit. Let's do a little bit of a roll call. We got Crystal in here first. Roll Tide. 9 more days until Alabama football. Almost here. Absolutely right. And thank you for our countdown tracker, Miss Crystal. We got Charles. What's up, Roll Tide? I got Money from Fort Wayne. What's up? What's up? We got Yakenji. Let's see. You got Travelpreneur. We got Dr. Crystal. Good to see you, Dr. Crystal. I know sometimes I see you popping in here every now and then. Good to have you back in there. Just say Saban Field. I feel like that. Could we just only say Saban Field? And I don't think I've heard that one, though. Saban Field. I mean, I like it. It's dope. I mean, we could probably make it slide. And Dr. Crystal said she only hears it on TV. That's kind of what I was thinking. Army, what's up? XRP King. You must be a crypto guy, huh? What's up, Christian Bama Familia? Okay, I like it. Love your show, bro. Hey, thank you so much. De lo agradezco. I appreciate you, bro. Thank you. I mean, you said familia, so I'm guessing maybe you speak a little Spanish. Trevor, what's up? Bryant Denny. Yeah, I think we'll probably just keep it simple. Yep, single digits. That's right, Trevor. Only hear it on broadcast. Yeah. Christian will be in the VIP box with Saban watching games. Nah, I won't be up there. Nah, wait. As a matter of fact, that's his box, isn't it? I don't know, man. I should just go barge my way in there one day, man. I would pass him, coming. He would be going to his box, and I would be in the press box before going down to the field or coming up from being on the field pregame. But I never like made my way over there. I don't know. I feel like I've got manners, man. I was like, I'm not going to do that. I feel like everybody, all these other guys, they just kind of just go show up in his box. I don't think anybody reaches out to him. I mean, he does actually use his phone nowadays, which is kind of interesting. But I highly doubt these guys go, hey, let me call Coach Saban and ask if I can go to his box. I feel like they kind of show up. So maybe, I don't know. Maybe I'll do that one of these days. Chris, what's up? You got the same shirt? It's a long sleeve edition. I might be tripping, man. I might be too hot in this, but yeah, it's smooth, man. The team issued Nike Dry Fit, man. Laying down the hammer on Lane and LSU. It's what it sounds like. It's definitely what it sounds like. Kyle, what's up? Miller Mafia. I love it. LSU will end up losing this. We're a week away from football. LSU needs to let it go. Yeah, I'm curious to get Adam's thoughts on all this. Adam will be able to break all this down for us. But we'll have to see, man. I mean, I guess if those guys can't return to college, I mean, they can try to get signed back by an NFL team, but that kind of sucks for them because, I mean, the way the NFL is, man, they just kind of keep it moving. So if you were trying to go back to college, they've already turned their attention to other guys, right? Granted, these guys are getting waived regardless, but still might be a little bit of an uphill battle for them after being deemed ineligible pretty much. So, I mean, that's kind of interesting to think about. Conferences aren't going to punish those NFL players. They're going to punish the coaches because coaches are employees. True. Nick Harden, what's up, man? Roll Tide. Love that the NFL stepped in. Yeah, I agree. It's amazing how things get done when everybody's involved, though, right? I mean, I feel like that's how it should be, at least. Oh, yeah. Thank you for the reminder, Nick. If you guys haven't, man, hit that like button on y'all's way in. We appreciate that. Or if you're watching the playback, man, don't forget to hit that like button every time you come on in the chat or come hang out with us, man. We appreciate you guys. We appreciate you. I appreciate you guys. Crazy wine lady just walked in. Oh, what is that? What does that mean? And welcome back into this Thursday edition of the Miller's Edge. Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC. I am really curious about this conversation we're going to have with Adam a little bit later, guys, about the whole NFL to college deal, right? I mean, I'm really curious what Adam thinks about that situation and how that's going to unfold. Granted, I don't really know what the next step is for a lot of these situations. Granted that everybody's kind of laying the hammer down. So we'll have to see, but Adam will definitely be able to give us some more information on that. We only got a few minutes really until Brandon comes on. So I'm not going to open up a conversation that's going to, we're going to cut short. Like the Courtney Morgan one, I definitely want to dive into that because I think a lot of people were intrigued by that whole deal, right? Talking about Alabama's NIL situation. Hearing from him directly, right? It's one thing when everybody's got an opinion and saying, oh, Alabama doesn't have money. They do have money. It's another when the actual GM is sitting in front of a microphone on stage and actually laying down kind of what the deal is. So we'll save that conversation. Maybe we'll ask Brandon about it, but we'll save that here for a minute. But I do want to talk a little bit about Chase. We'll see you, brother. All these things kind of coming to a close, Reed. It seems like the depth chart is actually finally kind of shaping up, right? Latsier Brooks, I saw Andrew Bowen post that he's been back pretty much full go at practice, looking really good. We all knew that he never lost his job by any means, right? He's just kind of been out. So really, when you look at this offense, we got our starting quarterback and Keelan Russell. Everybody's excited about that. It seems like the whole perspective on Alabama has kind of been flipped almost. I mean, Josh Pate went from having Alabama excluded from his preseason playoff bracket, to now he's got Alabama as like an 8 seed. Did you see that, Reed, by chance? Because remember, he didn't have them in initially. I do believe he attended scrimmage number 2. Was this because of what he saw during scrimmage number 2? Was it the Keelan Russell news? Was it because of the stuff that the conversations he might have had while he was in Tuscaloosa? I'm just going to be honest with you, right? He's got a good relation with not just our staff, with a lot of staffs. People talk to Josh Pate. right? Like he talks to folks. He clearly walked away with something that led him to change his opinion. Now, I don't know. Did he go on his show and explain why he changed that opinion, Reed? Do you know? Did you catch any of that?
I do not know, but I just specifically remember seeing like the graphic somewhere on Instagram, and I kind of remarked what you said. I was like, "Wait, didn't he not have us in or like barely in at one point, and now we're all of a sudden hosting?"
Yeah. I'll throw it on the screen for our listeners via our streams. Again, you guys can always check out the show if you prefer to watch it on YouTube, on X, on Facebook, any streaming platform where we stream our live video of the show. But anyway, here you go. This is what it is now. This is Josh Pate's college football playoff projection, right? With Alabama as an 8 seed taking on Southern Cal, where he has Alabama advancing to the next round where they face the number 1 seed Notre Dame, a team that a lot of people believe are favorites to win the national championship. Really good squad. There's no denying that. But he actually has them falling to Miami, right? Right before the national championship game, and he has Miami playing Oregon, with Miami coming out on top. So he has Miami now returning to the national championship. This time around, they are successful and will be crowned national champions. Reed, any thoughts on that? First, let's start with the Alabama thing. If you just had to guess what it was that maybe made him change his opinion, and maybe if he mentioned this on his show chat, let us know and we'll try to pull it up and we can play that clip. But I wonder if it's more so what he saw in the scrimmage, if it's more so maybe just kind of being in the building, maybe a combination of those things. I mean, and to be fair, like I can understand why when you look at Alabama now compared to, let's say, the spring, someone might feel a little bit more confident. I mean, I think that's fair. I expressed this yesterday or the day before. I'm losing track of the days. Whenever it was, I sat here and said, like, in the spring, I had more question marks. I still have question marks. But for me, question marks don't truly get answered until the season starts. I can feel like I have some answers, but I don't lock my answers in. Just like I had to lock in my mortgage rate today. I don't lock in my answers until the season starts and I see it in live bullets. That said, I was very eager to learn more about this front seven in the spring. We knew everybody's known since last fall, we've known the secondary for Alabama was going to be a bright spot in 2026. What we didn't know was how are these replacements going to fill the void of all the guys that left on the defensive line, whether that was via the transfer portal or the NFL. The linebacker spot, you lost all 3 starting linebackers. I say 3 starting linebackers because Nikhai Hill-Green was pretty much a co-starter. You were replacing all these players. Yes, you got some guys in the transfer portal that are intriguing, but you know, I don't think they showed enough on tape for you to sit there and say, "Oh, we got this guy." I automatically feel like he's going to be a difference maker where I'm not worried. I didn't have enough evidence there. But my opinion and I guess my perspective on Alabama from the spring to now, it has improved. How much has it improved? I don't know. I mean, I had them probably, just missing the playoffs earlier in the spring. I still think that could be a possibility, really depending on the offensive line and how that comes along. I think the defense will be plenty good enough to be a playoff caliber team. But my biggest question is this offense and really the offensive line, right? Like, can we fix some of those major issues we had last year? I think one way or another, there's going to be improvement. We can agree on that. But is it enough improvement? That is still my remaining question, and we'll find that out here in a couple weeks. That said, Reed, any thoughts before we hit a break on this? Do you think scrimmage number 2 really just made Josh go, dang, these guys are a lot further along than I thought?
Well, kind of getting quickly to your point about like the whole question marks. Some question marks, even though they're unanswered, doesn't necessarily assume that they're automatically bad, But I think in the sense more so that he maybe saw something that like maybe was kind of concerning that they maybe cleaned up in scrimmage 2. Now, credit, it's not an official game, so take that as you wish. But maybe he saw something that kind of shined a little bit, and he's like, hey, if they can continue that into the game, into this season, then I feel a little bit more favorable about them.
I mean, 8 seed is, that's a 8 seed is like a guaranteed 10-2. Like, that's a solid 10-2. That's not like sneaking in. 8 seed is like a comfortable playoff lock, in my opinion. Wouldn't you agree?
100% agree.
Like meaning like your 2 losses are probably very respectable losses. Like, you get what I'm saying? So, I mean, I don't know. He must have seen something. I don't know. We'll try to see if he mentioned it on the show. If not, I'll definitely shoot him a text and see if he can join us at some point in the near future. We got to hit a timeout because we got Brandon Clear coming up. We'll talk more about this, Alabama football, all that, and more coming up right here on the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230, WTBC.
Fall is here, and the Home Depot has everything you need for an outdoor.
Brandon, my apologies, man. I'm over here rambling. I'm taking up your time, but whoa, hold on, wait, hold on. Let me zoom in a little bit. We got a new backdrop. We got nice, clean, fresh painted wall. Looks like a nice white and with the accent, the plants going on. What you got going, man? Very therapeutic background.
Trying to step that game up, man. Football season's covered, brother. I'm looking at your wall. I'm like, man, look, my backdrop is crazy.
Hey, no.
Get on it, bro.
Look, this is we converted this into the studio, but I got a little walking pad in the back. I got to clean it up a little bit. It ain't perfect, but when I zoom in, it looks a little bit better. But nah, listen, you know what's crazy? Right. I found this. I think it's a bookshop. I found this like years ago, man. When I was moving, I was buying something from somebody, and they were like, "You want this too?" And I said, "Yeah." So I had that bookshelf, and then they gave us these jerseys. Like when we graduated, they gave us a jersey like that. I framed my NFL one, and then those presidential pictures, which I need to straighten those up. They gave us those, whatever. So I just threw them together real quick, and then it just came to life. And listen, those LED bars. Yeah, I need to send you a link. Those LED bars, I paid like $60 for the set off Amazon. You just plug them in the wall.
Yeah, that looks good, man. That's what I'm like. I thought you got it professionally done. So you did all that yourself.
Yeah. No, I just
That's
listen,
great
man.
work right there, man.
Thank you. Listen,
my wife was complimenting. Like she was like, "It looks great." I was like, "I agree."
Oh man, I appreciate
that game up, man.
Well, it definitely could. It could use a little work, but once I get in this new spot, I'm gonna try to revamp a little bit because I was going to come in here. I was like, I'm paint the back wall and try to do some more stuff, but then I'm moving, so I'm like, I don't want to do all that right now. But no, I appreciate it. Yeah, if you ever got any questions, I know I need to get with you on the. Thank you. No, I appreciate it.
Yeah, brother.
I need to get with you on the setup unless you got it. I feel you. It sounds good though, so you might have already got it figured out.
Got that mic, man. Figured it out.
Oh, nice.
Got the mic,
so
got the headphones in. Yeah, man. I was like, I'm getting there. It's getting day by day. So I was like, the camera situation, handling it, man. But it's just you learn as you go.
I'll shoot you a link to the one I use. It's a Sony, but it's good though. Yeah, it's really good, and it's easy because it's easy plug and play. It's pretty much like a webcam.
You don't have to have that just with the light and everything, right?
So I just bought a light from Amazon. It just connects right in there. Yeah, and so I can literally just flip it on and off.
Oh, that's cool. Yep.
Yeah, so it's right on the camera, and I got it mounted right there. But yeah, man, dude, awesome. please hit me up if you ever have any questions.
No, I appreciate you. I'm definitely going to take you up on that one.
Yeah. We'll jump on a call or something, and definitely I can try to walk you through everything. Because listen, I had to learn as I was going, and at the house, and they're like, man, best camera to use it. I used to be good with technology as a kid, but then I'm like, man, I don't even remember kind of what's the best camera, mic stuff. I'm like settings and stuff, but I've kind of figured it out as I've gone. But you really sound good, man.
I appreciate it, sir. We'll be like you one day. That's my goal.
No. Listen, man, I was about to say it looks one way. I was like, I just threw it together. Hey, you got to fake it till you make it, but it's coming along.
All day, bro. All day.
That's right. Hey, that's what it is. I'm bring us back.
All right.
And welcome back into this Thursday edition of the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC. We're now joined by Brandon Clear of Cover Crimson. Get that, man. Our guys with Cover Crimson now, man. He's representing. So make sure you guys check him out. I believe all season long and probably past that, making sure you guys are always in tune with what they've got going on over there. He's an analyst, I believe, right? Is that's what you would classify as, Brandon, an analyst over there on Cover Crimson?
That's a good question, man. I didn't even talk about titles, but I like that. I'm an analyst.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds good. I mean, you're a football guy. You're breaking down the X's and O's. I feel like that's good.
I like the analyst. Analyst Clear. Yeah, I like
lead analyst over there at Cover Crimson. Our guy Brandon Clear joins us now. Brandon, man, I want to talk some of these latest updates, man. We talked a lot about them yesterday, but I want to bounce some of them off of you, right? Of course, Keelan Russell being named the starter. Matter of fact, we got to start there because wait, that happened the weekend. This is our first time talking since then, correct? Yeah, okay. Let's start there. Your thoughts when you heard that announcement Saturday morning or when you were on Twitter and you saw that. your thoughts on Keelan Russell being the guy.
Yeah, so I was not surprised in the least bit. And from what I was hearing, and all the tools are there, that's one thing. But I had said this, once whoever wins the team is going to win the starting spot. The coaches don't make that decision. And everyone is getting caught up. What does Kalen DeBoer think? What does Grubb think? None of that matters. The players buy into who's starting. And as soon as the quarterback owns the team, they're going to go ahead and win the reps. And that's what Keelan did. He maybe did it through his play, did it through his demeanor, his overall execution, but he just has an it factor that it's just a natural progression of where when you see someone that has some unique traits and abilities to operate at that level, you automatically up your game. And so the coaches were viewing it. They got the tape and they're watching. They said, why does the offense look a little bit like we had a little more juice when Keelan is in there? And you can't explain it. So then, when they are saying the positive things about Keelan, everyone thinks is automatically an indictment on Mac. It's not. No. It's just when certain people have certain things you can't coach, and when you look at it on tape, you just know it's like, this is different. You would be doing yourself a disservice. I don't care what the age of the person is. You'd be doing yourself a disservice if you don't listen to your team and you don't listen to and watch your eyes of saying, my eyes are not lying to me. This team is operating better when this quarterback is in. And every great coach has gone through this, right? From the Tua to the Jalen's. Everything that the coach has and believe in a great young man, it makes it difficult to have those decisions. But ultimately, you got to do what's best for your team, and your team has spoken. And Keelan was elected by his team, not his coaching staff, to be the starting quarterback of this year's team.
Brandon, talk to me from your personal experience, because I spoke on this, right? You're alluding to that, but what it really feels like. Walk us through that as a player, especially you as a wide receiver, when you have that starting quarterback name, and it is a guy that demonstrates everything you just talked about. He has that it factor to him. The team embraces him. What does that look like, and why is that so important? Because I talked about it like, when you have your guy at quarterback, there's just like an energy that you can sense, you can feel. Like the mood of the receivers is up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes when you got the wrong guy at quarterback, you could tell the receivers, the energy's off in that room. Running back room is a little, it just feels like there's a little friction there. But when you have the right guy and the guy that they feel like is the guy for the job, and again, the preface, like you just said, this is not taking anything from anybody else, but it's just some guys just kind of have that element to them. For you, in your experience as a wide receiver, what was that like when you had a quarterback like that, where you're like, oh, it's his time. Oh, it's time to roll now. What did that do for you as a player and your offenses that you've been a part of?
Yeah, man. So I went through an exact situation like this. It was Kyle Parker and Taj Boyd. So Taj was the shiny new toy, had the strong arm. Taj is a phenomenal guy and player, ended up being a great player at Clemson. But Kyle got drafted by the Rockies, and we thought he was leaving. He was a first-round pick, and we got nervous. So spring starts, and Kyle is not there. And the entire confidence of the team, it was different. Like I'm running routes, and I'm like, I don't know if Taj is even going to throw me the ball because his accuracy was off. And then all of a sudden, Kyle was teetering with coming back. He had missed like half a spring, and then he just pops in, coming in, and all of a sudden it's just flowing. And we're just like, bro, this is different. And so with the days that we knew he wasn't going to be there, everybody was like, oh, man. Like, you know what I mean? And we did it. The receivers do it, bro. Like, we do it in a subtle way to where it's not like we're just bashing, Taj. We're just like, he's not ready yet. But when Kyle would come in, be like, bro, we're going to have a great day. And you just feel the energy. The team is lifted. So, again, it's not like these are bad guys. It's not like you got like a Jay Cutler in there. He's just like this mercurial type of dude that's giving this weird energy. You got these guys that are competitive, but you can just tell the ball hits different when it's coming from one guy, and the swagger of the team is different when it's coming from another guy. And so as a receiver, if I'm running a route and I know this coach, look, coaches can talk about this all day, but players know it. When I'm running a route as a receiver and I'm all of a sudden getting open and I know the quarterback knows where I'm at, is going to hit me where I'm supposed to be, you just run a little bit. You have a little more pep in your step, and you're more urgent there, as opposed to, I don't know if this guy's going to start scrambling because he's getting skittish in the pocket. So I might be running this route for my health. And so that was, again, I can't speak for any of the Alabama receivers. They've done a great job of really staying down the middle, but you could see them light up a little bit more when they were talking about Keelan. And so that was a telltale sign for me.
Listen, and I hate to bring other guys in it, but I'm just going to be honest with you. I mean, there was times it felt like that when Jalen was a younger quarterback. right? And when you had the whole thing with Tua, right? I mean, and it really was more Jalen could make all the throws. He's a phenomenal player, but he had a tendency to, I don't want to say panic in the pocket, but when things started to collapse, he was an athlete. He wanted to make plays with his legs. And there's a lot of times you should do that, but there's other times, and this is something that Keelan Russell does so well. He's always looking to extend plays and keep his eyes downfield. He's a passer naturally, right? That just happens to have elite athleticism. And so back with that situation, there were some times where you could feel a little bit of tension because some of those receivers, they would get frustrated because they're like, man, man, he could throw this right here, but he's not throwing it. And then when you have a guy like Tua sometimes, and again, this is a totally different conversation. I'm not saying these guys have that issue, but in terms of just having a guy that people feel like is the option for them, it does kind of make a difference. I feel like the offense started to gravitate a little bit more when Tua was in there to him, and then you could feel the flow and the energy was a little bit different. So it makes total sense why you see that with a guy like Keelan, because I think it's to that trust factor, the confidence that they have, like he's going to make a play, right? And it's not him just taking off and running. He's going to, escape, get outside the pocket, and he's going to look down. He's going to find us. One way or another, he's going to make us right and give us plenty of opportunities for us to make plays. And I can sense that from this offense, which hopefully helps them be a little bit more explosive this year. Of course,
Chris,
offensive line. Oh, yeah.
Chris, go back and look at some of the old film, bro, when Jalen was in there. And it was okay. I'm not trying to be funny. Calvin really ran a quarter route, bro. Had the dude on the ground. Jalen started drifting to the right, threw it over his head. Come on, bro. Like that's what he wanted to do, but he was just like, man, come on, man. Why are you drifting in the pocket? You got a clean pocket. That's what but they would just be like, all right, get him next time. Boy, they get him next time. What had the coaches all of a sudden, you be looking at the coaches on the sideline being like, that's your man, bro. Get your boy.
It leads to some tension. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, listen, and I love both those guys, but you could definitely sense like there definitely was some tension and frustrations over time that guys are just like, man, we're gonna be open, man. Just trust it. You know what I mean? Just trust it a little bit longer.
AJ Brown.
It seems like there's some similarities at times. Let me ask you this: sticking with the offense, Brandon. We just learned recently that EJ Crowell, and we've been talking about this, man. He's been out. We know from playing at this level that reps are so important, especially when you're young, right? I mean, we know that from experience. This guy hadn't hardly scrimmaged at all since he's been on campus. Now, it's kind of an interesting one because on one end, Coach DeBoer is pretty much he's probably not going to be available for week 1. But then he's also probably going to be back for week 2. Then Coach DeBoer threw in there that, but we have seen enough from this guy during camp that we feel really excited about what he can do. So even in the limited amount of opportunities that he's had, they feel really good about him still, which is great. But I just know from my playing experience, I'm like, man, like it's probably going to take him a minute to kind of knock some of that rust off. He's probably, hopefully, if he's been, he better has been taking advantage of the mental reps because we already know as a young player, especially as a running back too, knowing what to do. It's not to tell you just handing you the ball. Pass pro, right? Reading your tackle. I mean, it's really important. He hasn't had a whole bunch of that. What are your thoughts on kind of that situation with that running back room, kind of where it sits, right? AK Deer, I mean, the good news is those guys should be back by the end of this month of September. But you are starting the season off. First game is ECU, but then the second game you go on the road and play Kentucky, and as good as I do, your defense and your running game have to travel. And right now, at running back room, I think those guys are fine. I think Daniel Hill and Kevin Riley and Trey Brown can hold it down for the time being. But I would feel a lot better if we had that full running back room. What are your thoughts on that running back room, especially being on the road in an SEC game week 2?
I'll keep saying it over and over again, and I'm calling this dude the juggernaut. Trayshawn Brown is the real deal. So if you're EJ,
you ain't even worry. As long as we got Trayshawn Brown healthy, that's all that matters.
I mean, Christian, you and I talk about this every week, and everybody thinks, oh man, bro, he's really hyping him up. I've watched the film. I've seen his high school film. You can just see it. And again, when it starts translating, it's reflected in opportunities. He's getting more and more reps. And again, he's creating more and more opportunities because he's performing. If you're EJ, you've missed all the spring. You've missed all the fall. The coaches have been a little skittish and they haven't told you what the injury is. And so for me, I'm like, is it his foot? Is it his ankle? Like, what am I missing here?
I think it's more of an ankle, if I'm not mistaken. But
okay, so if it is ankle, so then all of a sudden you think you're going to start on the road in the SEC? I don't care if it's Kentucky. Your first reps are going to be against Kentucky. If I'm the coaches, I hold him out until the next home game. So I don't think he's going to play against East Carolina. Like, that's not even on the table. If you're thinking about the benefit of the kid and making sure you're not rocking his confidence, the last thing you want to do is put him in there against Kentucky, unless he's proven that he's full go. I don't think that's the best move. I would wait until you have, again, home game, next game, you'll be able to do that. AK Deer being out was the one big key for me. And I'm just like, man, he was on a roll. I thought he was leading, in my personal opinion, he was going to be the starter. And it's no indictment against, Hill and Riley. Like, that's not their issue. It's more so AK had finally started believing in who he is and what he could be. And he was performing and being consistent. So that's where it was trending towards. Trayshawn has been consistent. And again, I'm not calling him Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs is 101, but that how he popped in out of nowhere and all of a sudden he started chewing into reps with these 5 stars, that tells me the coaches are seeing it on a consistent basis. So as long as he's stepping up on his blocking, this you might see, again, I'm calling it Trayshawn by game 4 or 5, bro. He'll be starting. I'm just look, maybe I'm all wrong.
I hear the conviction in your voice. I mean, you're serious about that.
I am serious about it. And you'll start hearing more and more people that watched it and are listening. They'll be calling for it more. His name is coming up more. It's not a coincidence. So I'm just telling you, bro, I see with my own eyes. I'm like, this guy is different and he's going to be consistent. And he offers something the other running backs at this point in time, outside of EJ Carell, he offers something that the other running backs just can't do.
Well, to me, he just feels like the closest thing to a true 3-down back. But not only that, he also just his ability, right? I mean, he's got great balance and body control. He's got great burst. He's explosive. He's a physical runner, right? So like he kind of encompasses everything, right? I'm not saying he doesn't have a weakness, but I'm just saying, especially for a younger player, somebody you probably didn't expect to contribute this much, it's hard to find. I feel like he checks more boxes than everybody else, and that's basically what you're saying. The biggest box for me as a true freshman running back would be, but can he pass protect? Does he know what he's doing there? And what's interesting was when Coach Kalen DeBoer was asked about him and the running backs, he mentioned that he does a good job putting his head in there, right, when it comes to pass pro. So I'm like, dang, that's one of the biggest question marks. And Coach DeBoer just specifically mentioned that. So you might be right. You might be onto something, man. I mean, listen, if that is the case, you guys heard it here first from Mr. Brandon Clear of Cover Crimson, man. He's been calling it. Trayshawn Brown could be that guy sooner rather than later. You got a few minutes if we hold you over?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, cool. We're going to hit this quick timeout. When we come back, we'll wrap things up for a few more minutes before we hit this top hour break with Brandon Clear right here on the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230, WTBC.
Venture and Osment Jewelers.
My bad, man. I know I'd be keeping you for a minute. I'm just like, dang.
I love the talks, man. They be flying.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, dang, I gotta do better about making sure right on 11:30 so we're not holding you forever. But
I like the trend, bro. If we're in a flow, let's just keep going. We always keep going.
Oh yeah. No, I just want to make sure I ain't trying to keep you from doing anything, man. I know you're a busy guy, man. It ain't cheap to afford. Oh wait, let me get the name right because somebody in our chat they correct us. It's not Burberry, it's Burberry. Let me say it correct. Burberry.
First base.
I know my dad played in the NFL, but listen, the dude blew all his money. I ain't grow up the way you guys think. So I said Burberry. Okay. I grew up probably a lot more similar to y'all than you probably realize. Not just y'all, but whoever, but a lot of people than you realize. Burberry. Hey, I'm sorry. There we go. Am I saying Gucci right or is it Gucci?
I think you got it right. You can afford it.
Hey, well, I got a little Gucci balls.
I know. Like, don't try to play. No, you try to play coy with everybody else, bro. Don't let him fool you. Every time you act like you don't got money, just look behind you. I'm moving into my new home. I was like, home.
But here's the thing, though. Here's the thing, though. This is how I explain it. Now, I am joking. Right? Like, no, I am very fortunate because I'm very wise with how I go about things, right? Now, if I lived how a lot of other people lived, I probably wouldn't be in that. But like I've always been the type, like I hardly try to spend what I don't have to spend. Like when I buying a new house, I do real estate, right? I wish I was making, 7 figures from media, but it don't work like that. So you got to find other ways to make stuff shake. So yeah,
Call that diversification of the portfolio.
There you go.
There
you go.
That's
yeah. I do a lot of investing, but now I've really, like, over the last few years, I've kind of gone into real estate. So now I own multiple homes, rentals, and stuff like that. So that's kind of my thing. I'm like, buy a home, live in it, rent it out, and kind of do stuff like that. So
that's awesome, man. And I hope to get to that point one day in my life. And you're already leaps and bounds ahead. And so, like you said, being fiscally responsible starts with don't overspending and don't live beyond your means, which means you got a paycheck, go a step below, and you'll live a good life.
100%. It's funny, bro. Like even when I got to the NFL, I ain't changed a lick. You know what I mean? Like, I'm serious. I ain't changed a lick. Like, because my dad always talks about it. He's not capping. Like, bro, when I was like 13, I was on Craigslist, like buying and selling. So I used to flip stuff. Man. So I've always kind of had that mindset. Like, whether it was, I used to take old cell phones, cameras. And then I started I used to ride dirt bikes. So I was flipping dirt bikes off Craigslist. I buy one like $700, clean it up real good, post it for $1,200. Then I was flipping cars in high school. And so now I'm just doing that kind of with real estate right now.
Man, but go ahead, bro. That's a gift. And a lot of, like, again, there are opportunities out there for everyone to be able to expand beyond where you're at. And again, we're not all salespeople. We're not all people that are great with money. But what you can do is get a hold of someone that has an experience and also an execution that you can almost emulate. And once you 100%. Do that, you align with that person, you'll just naturally start picking up some of those things. So I'm learning it. I've got some good people around me. It's just like I got to take advantage of what the information they're giving me and implement it. So Chris, you're already doing that, bro. I'm learning.
Hey, that's the biggest thing, man. You just gotta, and dude, I'm learning too. I mean, like I said, this ain't the first house I bought, but there's stuff I learned from this process that I didn't know the last few. And I'm like, dang, I'm still learning stuff. And I'm like, this, you know what I mean? It's crazy. There's always something that comes up. But you're right, man. It's just about having that discipline and being eager to learn. Some people, they take the convenient route.
But you use the key word. So if I give you $1,000, you're automatically thinking flip.
Oh,
most
100%.
of the time when people get $1,000, they're thinking, what can I spend it on? That's it. It's a mentality. So it doesn't matter how much money I give you. If you don't have, like you said, like, again, teach a man to fish, he can eat for life. It's just one of those things where I hope people start getting out of the habit of saying, give me, take. Just if I just get this one thing, you'll never break the cycle. So then get out of that, learn how to be able to build and flip and understand these things. It's not easy. But now this younger generation has no excuse, bro. You could literally go in ChatGPT and say, I have $1,000. How should I invest it? And it'll tell you. You know how crazy that is, bro? Everybody I have $50. How can I make it 100,000? And
they give you a whole step-by-step plan. I used it to learn Spanish. Great. I did like the first half, but then I realized I'm like, wait, I can use this thing to practice. ChatGPT taught me more Spanish than any of them books and stuff that I was reading. Like that, dude, that thing's crazy, man.
Yeah, let me say, mi nombre es Cristiano.
And welcome back into this Thursday edition of the Miller's Edge, Tie 100.9, 1230 WTBC. We only got a few more minutes with Brandon, but we're talking some Alabama football, some of these latest updates. Let's go to the other side of the football real quick, Brandon. Defense, man. They named Luke Metz the starter at linebacker next to Caleb Woodson. We already knew Caleb Woodson. He's pretty much penciled in since spring. QB Reese, Luke Metz, some of these other guys getting some reps, but ultimately they go with Luke Metz, man. Reuben Foster said it on our show back in spring, man. He's going to be a problem. And Reuben was right, obviously. Now, of course, we need to see live bullets. And I'm not saying that to sound like a Debbie Downer or to sound negative or I'm hating. I'm adamant on like live bullets. They mean something, right? Like it's one thing to earn a starting job, but we got to, before we start crowning people and anointing them, you know what I mean? I think you still got to go earn it during the season. What do you make of that announcement, and how does that kind of, I don't know, alter your perspective of this front seven? I feel like the defensive line everybody's been solid with, but linebacker was kind of one of the few remaining question marks. From what you've seen and heard out of Luke, does that, I guess, give you enough confidence out of that linebacker room as things stand right now?
Yeah, I'm really excited about Luke Metz. And the reason being, he just reminds me of one of those hard-nosed linebackers that probably go by the end of the season will have a bloody nose and they have the tape over here.
Neck roll.
You know what I mean? Like he got a cast on his arm. He just gives off those vibes. And the fact that this is the key thing that I took from the coaches, they said he anticipates and knows where everything's happening before it happens. That tells me he is great. He's in the film room. He's asking the right questions. And then the fact that they trust him to go in there, QB Reese, I thought was leading it. He was. But if measurables are the same or even elevated, oftentimes the coaches will go with people they trust. They trust both of them, but Luke has all the intangibles and also the tangibles to be a great executor. So that's how he won that job fair and square.
He did.
I think, he seems like a good kid too. And he's another one, chip on the shoulder, was under the radar. I thought he was going to Georgia, and the fact that he went ahead and committed to Alabama, that told me something. So again, he's going to be someone that is going to have an impactful year, and he'll learn. I agree with you, bro. You won't know until you actually get into these live game environments. I've seen QB Reese play. He's a gamer. So if Luke is a gamer and does the same thing, I think they'll have that rotation going with those 3 linebackers, and they'll have some depth and they'll build it up. But don't get it twisted, man. Luke earned that outright, was showing up, consistent on the plays, and I think that he's going to be an impactful player this year. I'm excited about the linebackers.
Yeah, and I'm excited to watch him. I mean, because they've looked, and when I've seen them, I mean, they've looked the part, right? But that's the thing. You just live bullets to me, like against a different opponent. That's always a true test, as you know. But in the scrimmages, I mean, I agree with them, right? He's been very instinctive, right? He flies to the football, and listen, when you talk about knowing what's happening and anticipating, that's when you really can play at a high level, because you can really play full speed. When you're second guessing, you're unsure. I'm not saying it sounded like Kane Womack was almost alluding that, but it definitely sounded like there was a little bit more of a trust factor, like you mentioned, with Luke Metz. And maybe that's really what gave him that edge in that battle. Not saying it wasn't the physical part, because I think that definitely plays a role. But like you mentioned, we know QB Reese, he's a baller, right? I mean, like when he got those opportunities last year, I mean, he's undersized, but he can play. But it sounded like Luke Metz, I guess probably gained some ground in that regard. But then really what separated him is just his knowledge for the game. Like he was a true, signal caller right there at that linebacker spot, knowing what to do and probably enhancing the game of everybody around him, which we all know is just as important as a linebacker. Brandon, before we let you run, man, tell everybody how they can keep up with your new gig as your analyst role over on Cover Crimson this football season.
Absolutely. Hey, I always continue to show love to the Miller's Edge family, so I'll be on here consistently. But come check me out on Cover Crimson. We got some great people. Christian's pulling in some folks, man. You got Jimmy Stein. I said my life's goal is to meet Jimmy. He's a wealth of knowledge. I learned so much from him, man. So, again, be along with me on the journey. Continue to support Miller's Edge family. I will be. And come on and check out Cover Crimson, man. We got some great people. Johnny is my partner in crime over there, man. So we're going to be doing some big things this year. So come check us out. And Christian, don't let me find out you learn Spanish, go to Colombia, bro. I'm gonna tell you.
No.
No.
No, listen, I promise. No, really, the main reason I really wanted to learn was growing up, I played like soccer and had a bunch of friends that happened to be Mexican. And I always told myself, like, man, like, I want to speak another language because I'd be around them and I'd be like one of the only guys that they'd be switching back and forth. I'm like, hey, man, like I want to do that. And so I don't know. I've always told myself, I'm like, one day I got to learn. And it was like 3 years ago, I finally was like, you know what? I'm gonna challenge myself. And I stuck with it, man. And I don't know. It's one of those things like once you kind of get a little bit of a grasp, it kind of like you're like, oh, wait, I know a little something. Then you want to do more and more. And literally, man, now I'm at this point. But no, not to go to Colombia. Now, granted, I do want to go travel more and utilize it, but not like that. I want to be a tourist and travel and yeah, no. I ain't got time for that. Listen, you can get yourself in some trouble trying to play them games like that.
You ain't fooling nobody. Here I got the gold chain, got the hair pulled back. Hey, bro, don't worry. It's gonna be Cristiano, man. I was gonna start calling you.
Yeah, fair enough. I'll tell you.
Be ready, bro.
I'll tell you.
I commend the growth, sir. Hey, you go to Colombia.
No.
Don't take the passion with you, bro. Hey, Pastor. Hey, his old ways, man. Look, man.
Yeah, we might set him back a little bit if we do that.
No, y'all do a mission trip. You get back, bro. Do a mission trip.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, that's a good idea. I mean, actually, there you go. That's a good idea. And I'll keep it in there. There you go. Brandon, we appreciate you, bro. Always good to have you, man.
Always. Miller's Edge family. See y'all next week.
Yes, sir. We'll see you, brother.
All right, y'all.
All right, our guy Brandon Clear cover Crimson. We appreciate him. We got Adam Lamparello coming up next right here on the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230, WTBC.
WTBC.
Adam, what's going on?
Hey, Christian, how you doing?
Can't complain, man. Another day, another dollar. We're close to football, man. So I'm good, man. Finally got some of this stuff outside of this, kind of wrapping up, which is nice, man. Let me lock back in on football. So I'm good. How's everything?
Oh, it's exciting. And I just wanted to let you know, I have to leave at 1:45 today because I have a hearing at 2, if that's okay.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Well, if you want to do even 1:30, that way you have plenty of time. I don't want you rushing. Let's do 1:30. So let's do 1:30 so you're not rushing. I appreciate that, Adam. Yeah, I don't let this interrupt with that stuff. No, we'll do 30. We'll get out of here. I'll let you get out of here 30. That way you have plenty of time. You're not trying to.
Okay, sounds good. I appreciate it. But yeah,
I don't want you looking like Drewski on those skits, where like the public defender's running in with the papers falling out, the briefcase and the tie like hanging off the back of his, trying to run in there. I don't want you looking like that, Adam. We got to have you ready to roll.
Absolutely. I can't wait to. But yeah, it's exciting. Man. I can't wait. Season's finally here after what seems like forever.
And I realized this with Brandon. We hadn't talked since Keelan was named starter. So I guess I got to get your official thoughts. I know we talked about Chris Lowe's report.
Yeah.
But we didn't talk about him actually being named starter. So I definitely want to get your thoughts on that. And I have to ask you about the NFL stuff though. I've been dying to get your opinions on, I guess, the NFL guys coming back, SEC stepping up, Big Ten stepping up. Yeah. In my mind, before all this, the TROs and injunctions, I was thinking, okay, they set rules, all right, we're good to go. But then it seemed like with rules came more lawsuits. So I'm wondering if you think that could be something we see with this. I'm curious what your thoughts are on that, because I hear the SEC, I hear the NFL, and they're laying down the hammer and they're saying, hey, this is not going to happen, not on our watch. But then I also have seen a lot of lawsuits come from it. So if you've had a chance to look at any of that, I'm curious what you think on that. I need to pull up the latest though with because LSU is the main culprit here, right? LSU is the main one that was. They weren't the only one, but they were the main one.
Is this about them coming back to playing college? Is that what you're referring to?
Yeah. So they granted the eligibility to all the 2022 folks.
Yeah.
And that included some of these guys that had gotten on a practice squad or signed a deal. And I think the tight end from the Browns, he was the first one. They waived him. He committed to LSU, but then they also had the edge, I think, from like maybe BYU. Right. I don't remember if he was on a roster or not, but I know a defensive lineman that played at Ole Miss, he also was one of these guys. So it's just I'm trying to figure out kind of the NFL, at least they stepped in and they also added on to the punishment, because the SEC pretty much said if you in fact have an NFL player or former player that played professionally on your roster, 50% cut in operational budget, which clearly is a huge deal.
Right.
And also they mentioned, I guess, 50% of that head coach being suspended 50% of I guess the season, but that includes coaching, administrative duties, recruiting.
Unbelievable. But I have a winning argument for the players in the NFL if they want to come back to college. I think I found it. Wait, we got I might have bring us back. I definitely got to get your thoughts on this. I know we got Dwight. Thank you for tagging us in that. So Devin Tompkins spoke to the media after practice. We'll save that for when we finish with Adam. We'll have Adam on to about 12:30 Central Time, 1:30 Eastern, and then we'll listen to Devin Tompkins kind of wrapping things up later. That'd be good. I appreciate you tagging us in that. All right, Adam, bring us back. All right, sounds good.
And welcome back into this Thursday edition of Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC, hour number 2 officially underway, where we're joined by our guy, the man, the myth, the legend, Adam Lamparello of Lamparello Law Education Advocacy. Make sure you guys head on over to that website, lamparello-law.com. Schedule yourself a free consultation today. Find out what they can do for you, whether it's the criminal defense matter. There's that big Lil Durk trial going on. Adam, you'd be proud of me. I'm trying to keep up with it. I'm trying to use the things you've taught me about all the law that you've taught me, man. I'm trying to use it while I'm listening to the updates on this. He's a famous rapper anyway. They also offer services for college and high school students, exam and test taking preparation, subject matter mastery, academic and career planning, and of course, representation in any academic misconduct matters, NIL situations. The list goes on, and they do it for affordable rates. So check them out today, lamparello-law.com, and subscribe to their YouTube channel at Lamparello Law for free legal advice. Really good stuff. Adam, good Thursday to you. Welcome in.
Thanks so much. Great to be here, Christian.
Yeah, I always enjoy having you on here, man. Again, I told you, man, it's like the Law and Order segment of the show, man. I get to really kind of explore that side that I've always been interested in. Adam, we got to start first, I guess. Actually, you know what? Let me get your thoughts on Keelan Russell being named starting quarterback. Let's start with some Alabama football talk. Then we'll venture into the NFL stuff. He was the one that had the boxing gloves on. You wanted a tough guy to be named quarterback. I don't know if you've caught any of the interviews that he's done, but the way everybody's describing him now, whether it's Courtney Morgan or even just himself when he sat down with Alabama, calm, cool, collected. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it sounds like he's kind of got that Jalen Hurts type of presence to him, right? While also being one hell of a playmaker. And he also boxes, something that I think that you enjoy. Your thoughts on Keelan Russell being named starter Saturday?
Well, I'm happy that Keelan Russell watched this show and took my advice. I think it was a great thing for him to do. No, I think that he's capable of explosive playmaking and extending plays. And I think with this offensive line, that's a good fit for Alabama's offense. And he brings something to the table I think that Austin Mack didn't. Not that Austin Mack isn't a great quarterback, but he's got those qualities. And he's also got the intangibles. He's confident and he's calm. So I wish him the best. But I will say this. It's been since he's in high school that he's gotten hit. He hasn't faced an LSU defense, a Georgia defense. I'm not so sure. So I would say the ceiling is very high for him, but I want to see what happens when we're live and when he's under pressure. And then that's when we're going to see where he is in his development. But congratulations to him.
No, and that's a very fair point you make, right? Because that is something when guys haven't played a whole bunch of stats. I think he played like less than 40 last year, so that is why the growing pains are expected. But to your point, I will say I do believe he's set up decently for a first-year quarterback, and in the sense that the first 5 games, the way I summed them up yesterday was challenging but manageable. You know what I mean? Like East Carolina, I feel like they're of course an inferior opponent based off of the league they play in. But hear me out. They're good for who they are in the conference they play in. Like, they're a good football team. So it'd be a nice little challenge to start the year. Week 2, you go on the road and you play an SEC team on the road. Luckily, now granted, I think Kentucky can be a little bit better than some people anticipate, but you're not playing Georgia, LSU, or Texas A&M. You're playing Kentucky. Challenging but manageable. Florida State at home, right? I know they weren't a great football team last year after they beat us, but they've got good players, right? They recruit well, and they're coming to Tuscaloosa, challenging but manageable. So I think he'll have a nice, 3 to 5 games to kind of climb the ladder almost, if you will, and then kind of get his feet wet. So that way when he does go on the road and he's playing LSU in Tiger Stadium and they're yelling and cussing and throwing beer and all that rowdiness that they do, right? When he's got Georgia at home and he's playing Kirby Smart and that defense who we know is going to bring pressure at him and they're going to try to make him uncomfortable, I think he'll at least have had some opportunities to see that. It's like South Carolina. We played South Carolina before those games, and hell, they've got a good defense. Last year, their defense, they gave us all types of problems. Right?
Yeah.
So, I am curious to see, we talked with my dad yesterday. That was one thing I was thinking, I fully expect people to bring heat. He's a young quarterback, and the offensive line is a bunch of kind of question marks, especially to other people. There's a bunch of new faces, young players and transfers. If you don't think they're going to bring heat, that's literally the recipe for it. Young, inexperienced offensive line and a young, inexperienced quarterback. Doesn't matter how good he is. They're going to want to make him uncomfortable. So how do they manage that? That is something I'm going to pay attention to. Even in week 1.
Yeah.
Because I feel like East Carolina, what do they have to lose? Why would you not be aggressive? I think early on, they're going to get tested with a lot of – I don't know. And I had to go watch tape because I don't know the defensive coordinator or his game plan. But if I had to guess, they're probably going to try to make him uncomfortable, and it's going to be interesting to see how he responds to that first challenge. That's definitely interesting. Crowell, he's probably not going to be ready for week 1, Adam. I don't know if you saw that. But but I guess the good news is he'll be back hopefully week 2. AK Deer should be back probably in a few games. But injury-wise, you got guys on there, but they all should be back relatively soon except for Jeremiah Beeman, which that one's really tough. Any thoughts on Anything like that? Noel Rogers back in action?
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing Trayshawn Brown, and I am going to double down on my prediction that Ryan Coleman Williams becomes the next Devontae Smith and has a Devontae Smith-like year. I think he's ready. In interviews, he's confident. And as far as Keelan Russell goes, he knows they're going to bring heat, and he is going to be prepared for it. I think he's got that Jalen Hurts and Bryce Young type of quality where they don't get rattled under pressure. What I think is the key here is that the first 5 games are perfect for his development. They're challenging, but they're not overwhelming. Yep. So he's going to be able to get his feet wet and develop, and I think be ready by the time Georgia comes into town. So I think I'd also like to see that defensive line. How disruptive can they be? And I think that's going to be key, because if they can be disruptive with that secondary, we're going to be one of the best units in the country. And as Russell and the offensive line develop, we could become, by the season's end, a very, very strong contender for the national championship.
Tell me, when you say strong contender, what do you think are maybe a realistic ceiling would be? And the reason I asked this, because earlier in the show we talked a little bit about Josh Pate. It sounds like he went to scrimmage too. He's got a great relationship with these coaches. I'm sure he's talked to them a little bit. Obviously, at some point there has been some optimism pumped in his veins, because he went from having Alabama miss the playoffs and even just basically saying there's a wide margin. Now he did say earlier on with his projection with Alabama, they could be 10-2, but they also could be 7-5, 8-4. Clearly that has shifted, and that margin has shrunk, because he now has Alabama projected to be an 8th seed in the college football playoffs. It sounds to me even like you, Adam, and I know you're cut from the same cloth as my dad. I mean, you want to see it. You're a tough critic, and there's no, that's how you should be. I respect it. But it does sound like you even feel a little bit more optimism 9 days away from week 1 than maybe when we were having these conversations back in the spring. Because even myself, I feel like I have a little bit of a different optimism, not because Keelan Russell was named the starting quarterback necessarily, but because we've seen the defensive line answer some of these questions that we had. The defense really as a whole has stepped up. The front 7 were my biggest question mark, and I feel a lot better about them here August 27th than I did back in April. And then even the offensive line, I mean, in the spring, I was like, man, they got a long ways to go. They still have a ways to go, and I'm still a little concerned, but I've seen some flashes of them being able to have explosive plays on the ground. Yeah. What is it for you, Adam? Number one, is it true that you feel a little bit more optimistic right now? What is that realistic ceiling you see for this football team, and what is it driving that shift, if there is one?
Well, I am more optimistic. First, because of what I'm hearing from the coaches. Second, what I'm hearing from the players who are starting to show out, new younger players, Trayshawn Brown, Crowell. I mean, they are going to be very, very talented. So I think we have youth, but I think we have talent that can compete with anybody. And the coaches seem very optimistic too. And I think Keelan Russell, number 3, there was something about his playmaking ability and explosiveness that really brings an X factor to the offense when the play breaks down. And I think that they're going to give him the keys to this offense, and he's going to create problems for the defense. The other thing is I'm hearing great things about the defensive line, that they're causing disruption and that they're fast, they're strong, and they're big. So all of the things that were problems last year seem to be much better this year, including the offensive line. They say did better in the second scrimmage, and we got depth at wide receiver. So it seems like the pieces that hurt us last year have been filled in pretty good. And I think Kalen DeBoer knows what he's doing as a coach. I think he's a good X's and O's coach, and I think he's going to bring us to a record of probably 9-3 or 10-2. We will make the playoffs. Now, we can beat anybody. It's going to come down to the little things. It's going to be a game of inches this year for Alabama. That's what I think is going to determine how far they go. It's going to be a game of inches. They got to win those 4 or 5 plays that often decide a game, and that's going to be the determining factor.
I agree. I agree with you, and here's why, Adam. When you look at last season, for all the issues that this team had, and when I say that, it's not like this team had, oh my God, there's so many issues left and right, but they had a number of issues, whether it was running the football, whether it was an offensive line that was consistent enough. Listen, we were playing musical chairs. I mean, there's a number of things that, even it's the field position battle. We were terrible at that. And when you mention the little things, I agree 1,000% with what you're saying. But here's my thing. Even with all those issues, they found a way to go 10-2 and win football games. If this staff could find a way just to clean up even half of those issues, even half of them, I really believe that 10-2 is definitely possible for this football team. I really do, because they weren't far off. It's like they were far off, but they weren't. It's hard to explain. Like, it depends on who you ask and the perspective you have. When you ask Kalen DeBoer, he felt like they were right there. And when you watch the tape, I can kind of see it. I'm like, man, even if the execution was just a little bit higher, I mean, the outcomes would be totally different. And it feels like they have really leaned into that this offseason, whether it was with the coaching hires, with Rich Owens and Coach Clem. I think those guys bringing attention to detail, but not only that, but also really that mentality that's been lacking a little bit. I hate to say it like this, but I'm just being honest with you. Kalen DeBoer, with his coaching style, he has to have those guys around him.
Yes.
He just doesn't really have that to him. And I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. It's who he is as a football coach. And that's okay. You just have to have the people around you, the right people around you, that are going to do the things that you don't necessarily do. And I feel like he has more of those guys this time around on his staff. And I think that's going to play a big factor in the season. And hopefully if they can come together, there's still going to be growing pains, still going to be issues, but I'm optimistic that they could still reach a 10-2 mark as long as they keep cleaning those things up. And then last but not least, just hearing Courtney Morgan talk about the unity that this football team has. And then it feels like there's almost like a chip on their shoulder. Now I'm paraphrasing. That's not how he said it, but the way that it seems like everybody in that building, right? And I mentioned this from like the first day of fall camp, the intentionality, even as hearing Coach DeBoer address the media, you can sense that, hey, this is year 3. We already know kind of what the deal is. We're sick and tired of everybody and all their opinions. We know we have to go to work, and that's what we're focused on. And I feel like that alone helps kind of drive this football team to being even better. And hopefully, again, I know I'm chapsticking a little bit, but I'm saying I believe if those things actually play out the way I'm feeling that they can, I'm with you. I think there is a reason to be maybe a little bit more optimistic about this football team. Adam, let's take a break real quick, because when we come back, I know you got to run here in about 11 minutes or so. I do want to ask you legally about the whole NFL deal and kind of your thoughts on how that situation looks, because we're 9 days away, and just a few days ago we had NFL players committed to college football programs, some major ones. Now it seems like SEC, Big Ten are saying, no way, Jose, ain't happening. Want to get your thoughts on that and realistically kind of what we can expect with that outcome when we come back right here on the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC. Quick timeout, more from Mr. Adam Lamparello of Lamparello Law when we come back.
Rob Billups here for Mercedes-Benz.
Good stuff, man. Really good stuff.
Absolutely.
Did you see what the SEC came out with? I can put it on the screen if you haven't had a chance. But basically, it was where'd it go?
I'm assuming they said we're not going to allow it.
Yeah, but it was interesting. In the NFL, even let me pull up where's my bookmark stuff? Is it hiding from me? Where is it at? Do I not? Wait, hold on. Is this a joke? I literally don't. Here. Oh, wait, it's called History now. They changed the name. That's weird. Yeah. You got college football playoff leaders expected to meet soon to discuss a policy barring teams with professional players from postseason competition. So now they've stepped in. The NFL will inform its team that any player who returns to college will be prohibited from signing with an NFL team this season. That's the NFL taking part in it. And then the SEC, this is what they came up with. I'll throw it on the screen real quick. 50, like I mentioned, 50% season suspension for head coaches. That includes all administrative duties, recruiting, and head coaching responsibilities. 50% of that sport's annual operating budget, and then also SEC voting privileges on business matters would be revoked. I guess my biggest question, Adam, and then I'll get your thoughts when we come back, so you can save it till then. But could we see countersuits similarly to kind of what we saw? Remember back in spring, the NCAA would come out and say, hey, you can't do this.
Yeah.
And then it would just be like the player says, okay, I'm calling Lamparello Law, and we're going to take it to court. And then next thing you know, they're cleared. That's what I'm curious, about what you think in that regard, because for some reason it feels like this seems a little bit stiffer and steeper of a climb to kind of overcome that. And so far, let me ask the chat. Chat, have you guys seen any updates from Lane Kiffin? Moon says, love that analysis, Adam. Absolutely. Adam's good, man. Adam's football, law, you name it, man. Adam's a smart dude. Very, very smart.
Yeah, I definitely have an opinion on this, and it's not the opinion that I want to have.
Oh,
but it's the
God.
opinion that I think is going to be somewhat persuasive.
Well, it sounds like – oh, so I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I was going to say it does sound like there is going to be some type of challenge here because it sounds like Governor Landry is backing Lane Kiffin in LSU.
Right.
And he made a comment saying, don't hate the player, hate the game. So it sounds like LSU is not quite backing down, even though we just mentioned all the things that are going to be used as punishment if you, in fact, go through with this. So,
well, you can blame NIL for this because the argument that NFL players should be allowed to come back is, unfortunately, a pretty strong one. Who knows? We could see a quarterback competition between Bryce Young and Keelan Russell. You never know. I mean,
that would be nuts. Yeah,
I mean, I'm kidding, but you know what I'm saying. You could see NFL players in a college, and I'll explain why, or why I think.
Oh man, Coach Al says starting Mets gives you inside backer responsibility, interchangeability. Both have great size and could play Mike or Stinger from an offensive strength without having to physically switch spots. No, and I think that also, I mean, when you compare Luke Betts to QB Reese, he is a bigger guy. Then when you hear them talk about his ability to anticipate, know what's happening, right? I mean, like, just like, you hear on the offensive side, Mal Waldrop, he is held in such a high regard because his ability to communicate and know what he's doing. That in turn helps everybody around them play better. And then you're talking about a guy who's physical and been flying around all camp. He's like QB Reese, I feel like from just like a pure football player perspective, I would have gave him the nod initially, at least going back to like where they were in the spring. But now I feel like Luke Metz, due to probably the opportunities, having a better understanding, all that stuff has really probably elevated his game in that regard. And I think it makes total sense why they ended up going with him there. So I agree with you, Coach Al. Plus the size advantage. That's a big deal because that was a concern of mine with QB Reese. He is small. He's not a very big linebacker. Felt okay with it because the other guy next to him is like 6'3", 240. But knowing you got 6'3", 240, then Luke Metz, whatever he is, 6'1", 6'2", probably 230-ish. I mean, he's a bigger guy. So it probably does make them feel a little bit better when they're talking about wanting to be bigger defensively. All right, let me bring us back. And welcome back into this Thursday edition of the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230. WTBC, joined by Adam Lamparello of Lamparello Law Education and Advocacy. Check them out today for all your representation needs and, of course, high school, college, and graduate students on the education side. Let them help you guys out. Adam, we got to talk some legal stuff, man. And, of course, we only got a few minutes, so I don't want to take too much time. We'll jump straight into it. The NFL and the NCAA, SEC, these conferences, they're trying to crack down on this whole NFL to NCAA pipeline. I call it a pipeline, not really. Several guys trying to get back into college after the ruling that allowed the 2022 class to have that fifth year of eligibility. LSU is at the center of it all. They've got 3 players committed to them. I think all 3 played in the NFL. Regardless, they got 3 guys trying to come back and play college. Clearly, everybody's looking at Lane Kiffin, who's always in the media some way or another. And they're wondering what he's going to do, Adam. So I just want to get your thoughts on this whole situation. Could we see countersuits from these players by saying, hey, well, we got a fifth year of eligibility. So one judge is saying we do have eligibility. That's not fair for y'all to say we can't. We're going to try to sue and pursue this further. What do you make of this?
Those are strong arguments, and they might work for some players, but there's broader arguments that might be influential for all players to come back to the NFL, to college from the NFL. And here's why.
Oh, gosh.
So college football used to be an amateur sport, but now with NIL, the players have agents, they have contracts, they're making millions of dollars. It's no longer an amateur league. What it really is another professional league with all the characteristics of a professional league. The NFL is a professional league too. So the NCAA can't tell players from the NFL, you cannot come into our professional league, which is what it has become. And that is the problem, because it's no longer an amateur league. What it is it's a different labor market. And the NFL is a different labor market. And you're allowed to transfer to different labor markets that have the same status, which is here, I would argue, And college players are professional athletes with agents, contracts, making millions of dollars, endorsements. There is no amateur college football anymore. So given that they are de facto professionals, you cannot prohibit professionals from other labor markets from playing in that labor market. That's number one. I don't think that that's an argument that's going to go away quickly. It's a powerful argument brought about by the professionalism of college sports.
I mean, and what you're saying does make sense because everything does feel like a professional league. Like I was talking with my agent who represented me in the NFL just literally yesterday. And just to hear about this, I mean, like literally high schoolers are contracting agents, which makes total sense because they're negotiating their NIL deals from respective schools. I mean, it makes sense. But just to think about it, I'm like, how are we not? How does that still consider as amateurism at that point? If you're coming from high school into college with a true agent who also represents first rounders and pro bowlers and all these things, and you're receiving, like compensation. And again, it's not trying to hate on. I'm just saying I'm with you. It does not feel amateurism at all. Even little things. We couldn't even get rides on golf carts when we were in school. It was an NCAA. Get this. I don't think people realize how crazy these rules were. The academic advisors who used to ride golf carts around campus to go check our classes and sit out there and make sure, hey, Christian Miller is in, Calculus 101 on time today. Oh, he's late. Let me check. Like they used to ride golf carts around for that. They could not give us a ride on a golf cart. It literally was an NCAA violation for an academic advisor to say, hey, you can jump on this golf cart and I drop you off at your class building. Now they're doing like Instagram videos in interviews, like on the golf carts. I was thinking in my head, I'm like, not only they ride on golf carts, they're posting it on social media I'm like, dang. So why couldn't we ride on golf cart? It does not feel anything like it used to. So I get exactly what you're saying. It does feel like another professional league.
I want all the NFL players to contact Lamprell Law because I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to stand up before the judge and I'm going to say, Judge, let's talk about Bryce Underwood. $10 million out of high school. Let's talk about Carson Beck, $6 million to go to the Miami Hurricanes. Yeah. Now let's talk about the third string offensive lineman for the Detroit Lions, who's making $750,000 a year. What is the reason he cannot go and reap the benefits of another professional league? There is none. And that's
logically, what you're saying makes plenty of sense to me. But let me ask you this, though. I mean, is there still any type of power that the NCAA or these major conferences hold where even though what you're saying is I think logically makes the most sense, but do you think they still have the power? Let me just ask you this. Let me just get straight to it. Do you believe we will see an NFL player on a college roster this season? We're 9 days away, and there's guys that are committed, but these rules from the SEC just came like yesterday, and some are coming out today. Do you feel like you see anybody?
I don't think we will, and I think ultimately the NCAA has a strong argument too, which is the age of these kids in college, 18, 19, 20. If you're allowing former NFL players to come in, it creates a serious safety concern for these players. And part of college football is to develop players and have them on a level with players their age and with their experience level. You have experienced NFL guys coming in. That could create a problem. And so I think that's one of the strongest arguments. And ultimately, I just wish I could say that NFL players will never come back, but there's a possibility. And if so, it would be a very sad day for college football.
I guess the last thing I'll follow up with that, because Dwight makes a point. He says, look closer at it. They didn't say they couldn't join, but they did say they will punish the coaches / schools if they do. Their employees, so the SEC, I guess, has authority to do that, at least to hold the coaches in the schools accountable, which he's 100% right. But my thing is, though, could you then challenge the punishment?
Of course.
That's right. That's my thing. Like, what are the odds? Like LSU, right? Like it doesn't sound like they're immediately going back down from this. Is there a world where they could say, okay, we understand you're threatening us with this punishment. We are a member of this conference. You guys still run the conference. But what would be the likelihood that they could maybe be successful with a legal challenge to that punishment? It might be hard for you to answer.
They would probably be successful because there's a very fundamental legal principle that you are not allowed to do indirectly, which you are prohibited from doing directly. So if they aren't allowed to prohibit NFL players coming back, they can't try to get around it indirectly by punishing the coaches and trying to disincentivize it. That would be called out, and that would not work.
Well, I guess we'll definitely keep an eye out for how LSU goes about this because, again, they're kind of at the center of all this. Tommy Castellanos, I did see committed to Texas Tech, but I don't think he was on an NFL roster. The guys that didn't officially sign with the team, I mean, they're going to be able to come back, and it is what it is. They received that 5th year. It's just the ones that did sign a professional contract, which LSU had a couple of those guys. So we will stay up to date on that, and maybe I'll just shoot you a text when we get some breaking news regarding that decision with Lane Kiffin and LSU, because you can always rely on Lamprella Law. I can tell you that much. Trust me, I've reached out to Adam at all different times, and Adam is always right there to respond, get back with me, and help me out with anything that I may need. So make sure you guys consider Lamprella Law. Give them a call. Hit them up, lamprella-law.com for all of your needs. I'm telling you, they will take great care of you. And they'll do it for a very affordable rate, and they will do it the right way at Lamprella Law. Plus, free legal advice on their YouTube channel. So please go check them out right now. Lamprella Law on YouTube, free legal advice. Adam's great, man, with his words, man. It's fun. It's like almost like listening to a podcast. It pretty much is a podcast. Go check out all that good information and learn from them over at Lamprella Law. Adam, any last words you got for us before you get out of here?
I'm excited for the season. Roll Tide. I think it's going to be better than we expected. And best of luck to the players. And thanks for having me on as always. Great show.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Thank you for joining us. And yeah, next time we talk to you, it'll be 3 days away from the game. So we'll have to get your prediction, all that next week, man. Adam, have a great rest of your day, man. We'll see you then.
All right, you too.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Good to our guy, Adam Lamprella of Lamprella Law, who joins us every Thursday right here on the show. We got to hit a quick timeout. When we come back, we keep rolling. We got a phone call we'll get to. See if we can squeeze in some of these player interviews. Devin Tompkins spoke to the media. Kind of curious what the transfer from SC had to say. We'll get to all that when we come back right here, Tide 100.9, 1230, WTBC.
Catch hourly local news updates.
Good stuff, man. I really enjoy Adam coming on here. It's always fun learning from him of all this legal stuff, man. It's really entertaining. I hope you guys enjoy it as much as I do. Plus, Brandon's fun. Thursday's always a fun day here on the show, man. We got a lot of good stuff on Thursdays. All days are good, but it's a fun one for sure. All right, let's read some of these. You guys got any questions, man? Go ahead and drop in the chat, man. Now we're turning our attention to all you guys. We got a phone call. We got some chat stuff we'll hit on. So, Christian, who is returning punts? I'm going to be completely honest with you, man. That is one thing I did not really pay attention to. I'll be honest. I really did not lock in on special teams. Other than I will say the kicking battle is very much – that might be one of the best battles or might have been one of the best battles throughout all the fall camp. Both those guys have been on fire. I mean, I'm talking about from an accuracy standpoint, distance standpoint. I mean, these dudes, that competition, that's what we always say. Competition brings the best out of everybody. Both of those kickers are killing it right now, which is huge. And it's something that we haven't spoken enough about, but that is a very big deal. So in that regard with special teams, we should be in really good shape in terms of kicking. Punting, I think there's still a little bit of battle going on there. The guy we brought in, he was a good punter from his last stop. So I think we should be good there. But returning punts, man, I'll be honest, that's one thing I did not pay attention to. So I need to check in on that. But if I had to guess, I feel like Lassier Brooks would be good back there. Ryan Coleman-Williams, they've used back there since he was a freshman, but maybe that changes a little bit. Trying to think of just who else off the top of my head. Maybe you guys have seen other people. Pretty sure Trayshawn Brown returning some. I could see him on kick return for sure. You know, running backs are always solid because that off returner, right? He's a lead blocker if he doesn't have the ball. So I could definitely see him on kick return. Punt return, I'm not too sure, but I mean, he probably could go back there too. I feel like they got a number of guys you could probably put back there. I'm trying to think of who else has done it that's still on the team. Man, you gave me some good homework. I appreciate that. I wish I had a better answer for you on there, but I definitely would feel like some of these receivers for sure. But yeah, that's a really good question, man. Really good question. But Rico might be a good punt return. That'd be a good one. Yeah, I think Trey Brown, Rico would be a good one. I mean, with Lottie being a little banged up, I don't know if I would initially put him back there. So I would maybe kind of I don't know. I mean, maybe they still are doing that. Really good question, though. I promise. As a matter of fact, I'll reach out today and kind of see if I can ask and get that answer for you. I mean, I feel like Latsier Brooks is definitely a strong candidate. I mean, maybe Ryan still could go back there, but I almost with Ryan hopefully being that like wide receiver one, I would almost give him less of those responsibilities. But yeah, Trayshawn Brown, guys like Rico and Trayshawn Brown that are contributors, but not like full time. I don't know. I've always kind of liked having those kind of guys returning. Kevin Riley, he's got some good burst. Yeah, we'll definitely find out soon. Yeah, we'll definitely find out soon. But I'll reach out and get that answer for you. But when I've been up there, I'm not gonna lie to you, I won't really pay attention to special teams. Matter of fact, I got there a little bit later. They were wrapping up special teams when I was normally getting up there, and half the time I just don't really. I know the importance of special teams, but half the time I'm more focused on like the team stuff. I kind of get distracted once special teams periods are going on. I'm guilty of that, just being honest. And welcome back into this Thursday edition of the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC. Let's go to the phone lines real quick. 205-342-9904. We got Dale up first. Dale, welcome in.
Hey, Christian, my friend. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. How's it going, Dale?
I'm good. First of all, before I get to what I called, I want to comment on Adam, what he said, and I was shouting the same thing from the rooftops, man, back when the Bedialco case came up. And I remember, I think I called on your show or Ryan's show, I don't remember, but once NIL happened, it transformed college football into a professional sport. It's just that simple.
Yeah,
it's that simple. I mean, I don't know how else you can. Is there any argument in that?
I mean, personally, from my perspective, I mean, I agree with both you and Adam. I mean, everything that I see that college athletics pretty much has turned into. I mean, I don't see what the only difference is. You attend classes. Everything else is literally. Actually, if anything, college athletics, I mean, it's almost even better than being professional. I mean, they take even better care of you. You're getting paid, and they take even better care of you. So, I mean, I'll be honest. I mean, it's almost like a better version of the NFL. You just got to take some classes with it.
As long as you stay in that 5-year window, though. Now, I understand that, and I understand you got to have guidelines, and you should be able to set your guidelines. And anyway, I didn't call for that. I want you to know, Christian, I've been a Alabama fan since 1971. I'm an old man. I'm 64 years old. I followed you. You were one of my. I loved the way you played, man. I just loved it. I just thought you were awesome.
Thank you so much.
And I watch old Alabama games all the time. And when they play Dixieland Delight, I tell you what, I feel like I'm in the best place in the world. There's nowhere else I'd rather be. But I want you to know, yesterday, I love your father. But when he said what he did, and that's the bad thing about it, is I'm afraid he could be right. He said his contact told him that our offensive line stunk. And hey, my faith level went from a 10 down to a 4. I mean, seriously. And then Digger gets on there and just rubs it in, saying we're gonna have 2 seconds to throw the ball. And Keelan, and you was bragging on Keelan. You were sounding so positive. I was just really enjoying your call or your statement. And then it's like you just popped a bubble, And
I can understand that. This is what I always say, because he's going off of kind of contacts, which, trust me, I mean, I definitely I trust his contacts. Anybody listen, because he's not like a reporter. Anybody he talks to is going to be pretty much firsthand. But I mean, I've at least seen it, and I'll say this: like, are there still areas of concern? Yeah, and I said that. I was honest about that after the first scrimmage. Didn't make it to the second scrimmage, but even the people I talked to, if I'm just being completely honest with you, like, I know there's a lot of rave reviews almost, it seemed like, with the offensive line coming out of scrimmage number 2. But folks I talk to and anybody that I talk to, I'm just telling you, it's like it's direct firsthand. They still said, yeah, they've got some work to do, which told me that it
you know what raised my level up though.
But hear me out though. It's kind of expected to an extent, right? I mean, like, we hadn't even played our first game yet, and if anything, how do I explain this? They're better off than they were in the spring, no doubt about it. They're definitely in a much better spot, but they just still, I mean, they're not going to be probably an offensive line that you turn on the tape of some of these top contenders that you see out there. That's not really who they are, at least not yet. And I don't think it's very fair to expect that from a group that has 3 sophomores as starters, a transfer from Cal Poly, a guy that transferred from Mississippi State who was kind of probably in and out of the lineup, potentially being replaced. Like, I mean, like, you just got to be realistic. But I think the goal for them is just to be as good as they can be. I don't think they're going to be a top unit. Time. Yeah, and it takes time. Like, just being honest, I don't expect them to be a top unit, but I do believe they can be good enough, right, to where you can find ways to still have success. Last year, with the 125th rushing attack nationally and an offensive line that struggled, you still went 10-2.
I can't live through that again, man.
Yeah, hey, listen, it's stressful, but my point is, I mean, they still found a way to go 10-2, make it to the SEC championship game, make the playoffs. So, I mean, the fact is they're younger this year, but I think they have a better leader in that room, and that's no disrespect to Coach Cap. It's just I think Coach Clem, he played the game. He played the position. He's going to demand more out of those guys. I'm watching the way they're practicing and what they're doing. Just it feels so much more intentional, right? Where I feel like they're going to be young. They're going to have growing pains, but they're going to play hard. They're going to be competitive. And if you can just kind of work through some of those kinks early on, the goal is, again, you can see a similar outcome, kind of like Georgia, where you had growing pains early on, but by the end of the year, they were a solid group. And I think that's something that's possible. It's hard for me to tell what the ceiling really is, if that makes sense. But I wouldn't be too discouraged on anything my dad says, because you already know he's honest, but he almost is like too honest, where like even if there is a positive there, he's going to kind of blow over it and just only focus on kind of the issue or the concern. But I can tell you from seeing them. No, go ahead.
Yeah. We hear so much positive things from the coaches, man. And then let me tell you what raised my level of faith back up was when I thought about Aaron Taylor, what Aaron Taylor said. You heard what he said, right?
Yeah, but he was super positive. But I was telling people, always be careful off, like, when somebody goes, like, they see one practice, you know what I mean? You see one practice and that's kind of it, like it's, you know what I mean? Like, that's one out of how many do they have? Like 18 total practices during camp. So I'm not saying that's not what he saw. Like, this offensive line group has been flashing at times, but they also still aren't where they fully need to be. Does that make sense? They flashed, right, but they're not a finished product. I think that's the best way to put it. They flash glimpses of improvement in areas that were desperately needed, but they need to be more consistent at it. And they're not a finished product yet. They still have a ways to go. And I think that's probably really kind of what you would expect out of a group that's so young, so new, a new coach. Probably won't be until probably several games into the season where you finally start seeing glimpses of really what they can be, in my opinion.
But if I was a betting man, though, Christian, and I'm not, I don't bet. But after that comment, or before that comment, I would have, if I was a betting man, I would have took the 29-point favorite over ECU. After that comment, I'm not sure that I would, man. I don't know, man, because have you seen their quarterback?
I have not gotten a chance to break down that tape. No, I'm excited to, though. Tell me, have you watched him?
He played at Texas Tech. I watched his Texas Tech tape, man. He's a gunslinger. I'm telling you, he is a gunslinger. We better be ready for this dude. This guy can sling it. And then he went to Wake Forest. And he was at Wake Forest. He led Wake Forest to a victory over Vanderbilt, 36-20. And when he was just slinging that ball all over the place, man. And he can run. He's a dual threat. I'm telling you.
Yeah,
I think they got two
quarterbacks. Yeah, I need to turn on that tape. I mean, I know they are they're a respectable team, and that's kind of why my whole deal is I feel like it's a good opportunity, right? Because it's a nice challenge, but it's clearly manageable, right? I mean, Alabama's favored by 20-something points. I think there's going to be some moments that challenges us a little bit, but I think we'll end up, I think we're going to come out and hopefully coming out swinging, right? First one at home. I already know they know how it went last year in that home opener, not being fully ready. I would imagine that that's going to be a point of emphasis. Like they need to come out the gate swinging this year. So I'm excited for that first matchup. But I do believe you that they probably got some dudes to pay attention to on that ECU roster. That I mean,
they got all juniors and seniors, man. All juniors and seniors. I know they're transfers, but man, that's like the Indiana formula. It seems like that's what concerns me too.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah, no, I mean, it makes sense. Well, the good news is we got 9 days and we'll finally, all this talking and speculating. I mean, we'll have the full game tape to watch. We'll be doing breakdowns. I don't know if you watch us on our YouTube channel, but make sure if you haven't yet, check us out.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, check us out here because I'm going to make sure we're going to be doing some breakdown stuff. Now we got to do it the right way because sometimes they don't like that you using that tape, but we're going to be explaining kind of what is going on. So everybody listening, not just Dale, but if you guys are in that kind of stuff, the film breakdowns, we will show you exactly kind of the good, the bad, the ugly, and what's going on. So it'll be fun. I'm looking forward to it. We'll have plenty to discuss then, Dale.
Appreciate you, Christian. You have a great day, man.
You. Yeah, great talking to you, Dale. Yes, sir. You too, man. Good stuff. All right, let's hit a timeout. When we come back, I think we got a few minutes to listen to Devin Tompkins real quick, who spoke to the media post-practice. We'll do that, and we'll answer any of y'all's final questions on this Thursday. This is the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230, WTBC. ECU's defense is multiple. Yeah, I'm excited to turn on the tape. I promise. I'm going to get to it. I'll try to do it today. It's just I've literally been – when I'm not doing this, I mean, I'm packing and meeting and on the phone. I've been doing so many different things. But I'm going to turn on that ECU tape. I mean, I guess next week, man. I told you guys we'd start doing like a preview or something, like even like one day during the week. So I guess I got to get ready, man. What, Wednesday or whatever day we decided we were going to try to do one of those shows. But to Dale's point, this is the last thing I'll say about the offensive line. I would probably say expect a little bit of an in-between. Like, I don't think you should expect them to be as bad as maybe you're thinking based off of kind of how my dad sounded yesterday. But I definitely do not think you should be expecting them to be as good as maybe some of these people are talking right now. Does that make sense? That would be the best way to put it, in my opinion. They're not as bad as some of the people that make, like how my dad was putting it. They're not as bad as that sounded. But I would not say, I would urge people a little caution with being as optimistic as I've heard. Like when Aaron Taylor was. Another thing about that, I see Coach Al said Aaron Taylor's report on Alabama's O-line was pretty convincing. Maybe Taylor was making a projection for this group based on potential. This is, and I said this when it first came out. That dude is like a college football Hall of Famer, like more credible than almost everybody, right? Like, I'm not saying take it with a grain of salt, but I'm also saying, like, as somebody who was a member of the media, if you're going around and doing a tour and these people are opening the building to you, you know what I mean? And like, go listen to all his other videos. The point I'm making is, like, number one, he's not going to say anything bad. So you can rule that out. He's not going to go, hey, I just went to Alabama's practice. Offensive line, they still need some work. They're not, they struggle. Like, he's not going to say that. Like, none of his videos, promo, there you go. If you listen to it, and I'm not saying he's being inauthentic, but if you just listen to it, they all are like hype videos almost. So I guess what I'm trying to say is he definitely saw things. He saw those flashes. He saw some things that were impressive. He saw those runs that went down the teeth of a defense. Here's my thing, though. Those things can happen, right? It's not like last year that never happened in practice. It's not like last year they never broke a run in practice. The biggest thing was they didn't do it when it mattered. Like there was times they ran the ball in practice, right? It's not like just because they were bad in the games, like they never had success running the ball in practice. You see what I'm saying? So with him, he probably took those plays and because I know I've done this. Like being in the media is part of it, especially like when I'm doing something like. Just gonna be honest with you guys. Like if I'm doing something like on the network, right? Like we're doing a game breakdown. I can pick and choose my delivery. Like, if I want to really push it and really emphasize, man, we got after the quarterback and we did this, that, like, depending on my delivery, it can paint a different picture. And I know how to control that. Does that make sense? With his video, it felt like he literally was kind of doing that. It was like, hey, man, like he's really trying to push that because he knows like that's kind of the narrative right now. They got a new offensive line coach. They got new transfers. Hopefully that makes sense. I say all that to say, though, I think the offensive line is definitely improving. And I think they should be better than they were last year. I just don't want people to listen to that or listen to like some people that would say, oh, scrimmage number 2, man, it was a big day. Like it was definitely had moments for sure. But they also had moments where it was evident that they still aren't where they need to be. And that's all I'm trying to express. I'm not trying to be my dad and say, oh, well, I'm not sure about these guys. But I'm also not going to hype them up. That way you guys come back to me when week 1, week 2, or week 3, you guys see them struggling. Be like, hey, but you said, no, I didn't say that. Everybody else is saying that. What I'm telling you is they're not as bad as it might seem, but they're not as good as what some people are making them seem. Take that with which I don't know. I was at that point in the show, man. I don't even remember how to speak. Take with that what you will. I don't know. And welcome back into this Thursday edition of the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230. WTBC. All right, so we only got a few minutes left. We were on listening to Devin Tompkins, but don't have enough time. We'll punt that for tomorrow, Reed. No big deal with that. Let's go. Let's get Ellis on here for a few minutes. 205-342-9904. We got Ellis calling in. Ellis, welcome in.
What's up, Christian?
What's up, Ellis? Where are you at, man? It sounds like you're in a normally you're either hiking or you're working. I'm gonna take a guess because it sounds like there's a little bit of an echo. You might be enclosed. You're working in a bathroom or you're working in a garage.
Yeah, the bathroom.
I knew it. Listen, I know a little thing about home improvement, man. I know I do podcasting, but listen, I own several homes. I like to kind of get my hands dirty myself. I know a bathroom echo when I hear one. So that was a good guess, man. All right. You know what? You might owe me a yellow meat watermelon for getting that right, man.
There you go.
You might need to load one up on that truck. You still got that same truck, Ellis?
Do what?
You still got your same truck? It's still running good for you?
Oh yeah. I'm still driving it today.
Okay, just making sure. So you might need to load a yellow meat watermelon up for me. Now, if you guys are listening and wondering what the hell I'm talking about, Ellis, he put me on. I've never heard of this, even though my dad's from the watermelon capital of the world, Pageland, South Carolina. There's such thing as yellow watermelon. So if you look it up, it's watermelon, but the inside of it is yellow instead of pink. And Ellis, he gave me one of those. So thank you, Ellis, for that. So I need another one. Good stuff, man.
Yep, might have to get one down there.
Hey, let me know. I'll share with Reed too, man. I'll share it with Reed behind the studio.
Yeah. You was talking about being a member of Yale, Alabama, and you was talking about Andrew Bone. Boy, he got some good stuff on there.
Would you say it's improved drastically since he's been on there pumping out more content?
Since he's got on there, it's like a whole nother level, man.
Yeah, I believe it. He's doing a phenomenal job, man.
There's always something on there. When I get home, that's what I do. I check it. I go to that app, and I think that's another thing. It's the best thing ever done is had an app. So,
hey, man, I feel like we kind of mentioned some of those things here and got y'all's feedback. So maybe they need to thank us a little bit. Maybe they need to say, hey, shout out to the suggestions we got from the callers on the Miller's Edge. I remember you guys mentioned some of that.
Yes, and that is so much easier. There's a few other things, but that having him on there and the app is just awesome.
No, that's awesome, man. Well, listen, we only got about 30 seconds left. Tell me what you want to tell me before we let you run. I know you probably got a football comment.
Well, I'm a friend of Dale, but that's a nervous man right there when it comes to Alabama football.
Hey, I think he's trying to prepare himself with his expectations.
Oh, I know.
He's probably trying to tread cautiously because he had certain expectations the last couple of years, and he doesn't want that letdown. So he's kind of like, you know what? Let me be a little cautiously optimistic. I'm not mad at him.
I can't be cautious. We're gonna run them out of Bryant-Denny Stadium, Christian, next week.
Hey, I'm gonna get on this tape. I need to watch ECU so I can give us a good idea on what to expect. Now, with all these new faces, it might be kind of hard in terms of personnel, but I don't know, Ellis. I think they might come to town and they can put up a little bit of a fight. But ultimately, I think our guys are gonna come out there, and I don't know, man. I just like that whole mentality, like something to prove. I feel like we should see a much different game one in 2026 than we did in 2025. Let's hope at least, because Lord knows, God. That was not a fun game one last year. That was different.
No,
that was very different. We're not used to that. At least
it wasn't a fun game to be in the stands down there at Vanderbilt when we got beat by Vanderbilt. Because I was in the stand.
Golly, I forgot you were there too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we gotta leave that in the past. Okay, yeah, we gotta leave that in the past.
This is the future. This is all we need.
That's right. Well, Ellis, I hate that it's always so short, man, but I'm always glad to catch up with you and good to hear from you, brother.
I understand you.
Yeah, we'll talk soon. I know we'll get you back on here next week. It was game week.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. We'll see you then, brother. Good deal. That'll do it for us on this Thursday edition. Big thanks to Reed Behind the Glass, all our listeners, Tide 100.9, the global app, of course, all of our streaming platform. We appreciate all you guys for everything that you guys do. Hit that like button on the way out if you're watching on YouTube. Subscribe if you haven't already. And we'll see you guys tomorrow on a free-for-all Friday edition of Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230, WTBC.
You've been listening to the Miller's Edge, tackling sports daily.
Reed, appreciate you, brother. All right, chat. That'll do it. If you guys haven't, man, hit that like button on the way out. We appreciate you guys so much for that. Seriously, thank you. Have y'all talked about the Saban doc yet? No, we have not. I have not seen it. Sounds like I need to check it out, so I'll definitely be on the lookout. Where can I watch it? Am I going to be on there? Nah, I'm not. They didn't interview me, no. But I mean, maybe in some clips, that'd be cool if I'm in some clips. But nah. Tell me where to watch though. I need to check it out, or whenever it's going to drop if it hasn't dropped yet. Love the shirt. Oh, appreciate it, man. Yeah, this is from just a team issued shirt. It's a long white sleeve. Excuse me. Nike dry fit, but yeah, it's comfortable, man. I'll tell you that much. Why did my like button turn into a soccer ball? I don't know. That's interesting, man. 8-part series on ESPN in October. Oh, dang. I definitely need to lock in with that. Leonardo, appreciate it. I saw that KLOK comment, man. Let me find out you're Dominican or you know a little bit of Dominican Spanish, man. I saw that KLOK. Yeah, I need to look out for the doc, man. I'm trying to think if there's anything I need to tell you guys before we get out of here. Man, definitely be on the lookout next week. I will plan on doing like a nighttime podcast probably for a preview of ECU. I think we said maybe Wednesday, maybe Thursday. I can't remember what day we said. But I do want to plan on doing that. I'll get to work on this ECU tape. Trying to think. I know Slade said he'd be down to be doing the podcast stuff. I wish we could still get him on during the radio part, but his hours have changed a little bit. But yeah, I'll keep you guys posted on anything that comes up. But that being said, I hope you guys have a great rest of y'all's day. Of course, thank you as always for all y'all support. Always a pleasure to be hanging out with you guys each and every day. We appreciate it. We appreciate you and everything that you guys do for us here on the show. And yeah, we look forward to being back tomorrow. And shoot, last show of the week before it's officially game week, man. So we'll be locked and loaded. Just know if you guys are new, just understand, like, when it's game week or we're in the season, Mondays we do breakdowns where we literally break down everything that happened in the game. We even throw up clips and stuff. I mean, like, we're going to be full rolling. Tuesdays, we kind of have a little bit of that hangover, still kind of discussing a little bit of still what kind of went down, because we got the press conference on Monday, so like sometimes we still got a little bit carryover. Wednesday, oh yeah, I'll get that answer on returning punts. I'll get that for you guys. I'll make sure I mention it tomorrow. Then Wednesday we slowly start kind of looking ahead. Thursday we start previewing the next game, but then Friday is like putting a bow on everything, final thoughts, predictions, and stuff like that. And then we just kind of rinse and repeat, man. So it's gonna be good, man. Breakdowns. We'll have guests on here. It's going to be good, man. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that. But that being said, y'all have a great rest of y'all's day, and we look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow, same time, same place. We'll see you guys then.